An OnlyFans model who is suing rap artist Kanye West now says that when she was working as his assistant, he took her to a party with Diddy Combs where she was allegedly sexually assaulted. We're taking a look at the latest allegations in her court filings as pressure continues to mount against Combs and his associates. Back in June, a lawsuit was filed by Pisciotta against rapper Kanye West, and she's suing him for wrongful termination and sexual harassment. But earlier this month, her legal team filed an amended complaint saying she was drugged and sexually assaulted at a party co-hosted by Kanye West and Diddy Combs. Yes, you heard it right. With each day passing, we think it can't get worse, but it actually only gets worse. He was back in court last Thursday, as we reported. This is as prosecutors address the absolute mountain of evidence and discovery they need to go through during raids on his homes back in March. Homeland Security investigators took away electronics and surveillance systems, which they say contain terabytes of information. They're working their way through it now to determine what is actually relevant to their case. Prosecutors in the Southern District of New York accuse Combs of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. The core allegation is that Combs used his power, his influence, and his serious wealth to organize sex performances referred to as freak-offs. That's when he would allegedly bring in male sex workers who would have sex with people like Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura. The people taking part in these, which are essentially orgies, were reportedly plied with alcohol and drugs to keep them compliant and were threatened not to say anything. Now, Combs' attorneys have said that if these freak-offs really did take place, they were consensual, and Combs did nothing illegal. Well, now going back to this lawsuit, Pisciotta has come forward to say that Kanye West co-hosted a party with Combs in Santa Monica, California that led to her assault. This incident allegedly happened before she worked for West as his assistant in 2021 and 2022. She claims she was working with a, quote, musician client who is not identified in the court filing when West sorts them out to invite them to the music studio shindig. Now Pisciotta claims that West told everyone that they had to drink or leave the party. Now, after taking a few sips of her drink, Pisciotta claims that she, quote, suddenly started to feel disoriented, began to slip into an altered and highly impaired state. Pisciotta says that she doesn't remember anything else and woke up the next day feeling traumatized and disturbed. The amended complaint says that Pisciotta was mostly concerned that maybe she had embarrassed herself in front of her then client, or maybe even Kanye West himself. Now Pisciotta reportedly believes that someone who helped prepare the drinks was responsible for drugging her. But years down the line, when West reportedly fired Pisciotta from her job as his assistant, he allegedly confessed to her that they had, quote, hooked up at the party after she was drugged. So according to Pisciotta, West was having an argument with his then-wife Kim Kardashian, who was accusing him of cheating on her with Pisciotta, and Pisciotta wanted to clear things up and suggested that she reach out to Kim to assure her that nothing had ever happened. But she claims West stopped her from sending the message, saying we did kind of hook up a little one time. She says he started to reminisce about that party years before, and Pisciotta said she didn't remember any of that. He reportedly laughed and said, women love to say they don't remember. Now, this is not the first time that people have come forward to say that they were forced to drink at parties connected to Combs. In fact, recently, Tony Busby, a Texas attorney, said that he's planning to file more than 100 individual lawsuits against Combs on behalf of clients who say they were victims. Well, during a news conference, Busby talked about Combs' insistence that people drink what they were given.
The typical MO at one of these parties that have been widely discussed in the press was that when you were handed a drink, and now we know that the drink is laced with something, if you refused to drink it, you were kicked out of the party. Now let that sink in for a minute. I mean, the admission to this party was that you had to drink the chosen drink that was handed to you. And now we know that in most cases, I would say 90% of the cases, these individuals were drugged with some sort of drug. That was kind of the MO.
In fact, knowing the extent of the allegations against Combs, we're seeing some of the accusations from Pisciotta against West in an entirely new light. I mean, multiple people have come forward saying that they were drugged at events hosted by Sean Combs. And to give you some background here, in her original lawsuit against West, he showed a sued for 15 claims or causes of action, including breach of contract, wrongful termination, sexual harassment, unpaid wages, and gender discrimination. The document states that West asked the plaintiff to get him honey, which is a sexual enhancement and performance honey. The defendant required the plaintiff to always have this on hand and available, and she had to deliver it to the defendant in advance of the defendant's sexual encounters. By the way, this is kind of similar to some of the allegations against Sean Combs, because remember, investigators who searched his properties back in March said that they found hundreds and hundreds of bottles of baby oil and lubricant. There have also been allegations from people who work closely with Sean Combs, like music producer Rodney Lill. Combs would force his employees to carry around drugs and fanny packs so that they were always available to him. Combs is also accused of forcing his employees to set up freak-offs, which included lighting and cameras, plus the procurement of sex workers and drugs. By the way, just to be clear, Pisciotta hasn't directly accused Sean Combs of any wrongdoing. Really, she's just putting the impetus on her former boss. That's who she's focusing on. But it could be possible that she links Sean Combs to the whole matter. What are your thoughts on that? If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe and like the video.